Hi everyone, welcome back. This is the first of the videos where we have the variable, the x, up on top. So it's up here instead of being 2x equals 8, which we've dealt with a lot of those cases. So this is really for senior courses. Some of you 10 students would have it, depending on their questions and what level they get to. The really simple ones you might even have for year 9. So let's have a look what's going on here. Australians refer to that as a power or an index. A lot of people in the world, they refer to it as an exponent. So they talk about it being an exponential equation. Let's have a look what's going on. You can look at that and just guess it. 2 to the y is 8, so you can go 2, 4, 8. And you can go, well, that's 2 to the 1, that's 2 to the 2, 2 to the 3, and you could just say the answer's 3. Let's have a look at the method, which we'll need when it gets the harder one. Probably even by the time we get to these two. Most people can't think that one through, nor think that one through without having a method. So we're talking about the 2s, the 4s and the 8s. So these two numbers are in the list of what I call the powers of 2. Now I do love to say to people, I keep saying in videos, it's good to go home and go 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024. By the way, it's pretty common in Western Australia to get numbers like 512, 1024 and 2048, and they will go into the non-calculator section of the exam. So knowing those numbers is really handy. The same for the 3s, but you don't have to go as far for the 3s. The 2s, let's have a look. So the 2, the 4 and the 8, 2 and 8 are there. So I can write the 8 as a 2 to the power of 3. When the bases are the same, so what we're talking about is that when the bases are the same, and there's only one term on each side, there's only one thing, if I want to call it a thing, one thing on each side. This is just a 2 with something on top. This is just a 2 with something on top. Then we can do what we call equate the powers. And that's what the whole technique's about, equating the powers. So once we've got a 2 with a something, a 2 with a something, we can just write the tops. We can write the exponents, we can write the powers, so that's just x equals 3, which you could have guessed anyway in the first place. So you can see the method works. So just one more just to make it a little bit clearer. So this time we got 3 and 9, so I've got 3, 9, I could keep going, 27, 81, and go through the numbers of these and write them all down. Good if you went through those, especially up to about 243 in your head, memorise them at night, go and sleep. And that's 3 squared. Now it's got the bases of 3, we're going to equate the powers, and we can just write that that's x equals 2. Of course we can go back and check it, 3 squared is 9. Now it's a little bit more challenging. It'd be interesting if you stop and think about it for a second and go, what would that be? I mean, I think I'd hesitate. For both of these I'd hesitate. I could think it through in my head and get the answer. Let's have a look. So we've got a 4 and an 8, so there's our 4 and there's our 8. So we know that it's in this list of numbers. We're using the powers of 2. This question's all about the powers of 2. How do I write 4? Of course I can write that as 2 to the 2. Then the whole thing's got another x on the top. So a lot of people like putting brackets in and they go an extra x on the top. Whereas this number's here 2 to 3. Going back to this, it's a 2 to the 2 with another x. So we talk about it's a power raised to a power, or an exponent raised to another exponent. So what do you do with the power to a power? You multiply the powers. So that's 2 to the power of 2x. So a lot of people look at this and just go, well, it's 2 squared with an x. So there it is, 2 squared with an x. Pretty easy to do, you can get pretty confident at it. And that's 2 to the 3. So now we have the bases are the same. There's the bases are the same. We can equate the powers, so I can just write 2x is 3. And of course if you divide this side by 2, you divide that side by 2, and the answer's 3 on 2. Of course you could write 1.5 or 1.5. In Western Australia, 3 over 2 would be full marks, no problems, no need to change it, simplify it. Okay, let's have a look at this one then. Instead of using 2s and 3s, could have used 4s or 6s or 7s. I've gone to 5, so this is actually 5 squared. Let me shortcut it a little bit. That's 5 squared to the power of x, so that's 5 to the 2x. I'll say it again. 5 squared, so there it is, 5 squared to the power of x. So what do you do with a power to a power? You multiply them. So there's your multiply just there. Then we write the other side as a 5, and the 5 by itself is 5 to the power of 1. Have a look what we've got now. The bases are the same, they're both 5. There's only one term on each side. Doesn't have any extras. If it had, for example, plus 1 over here, you'd have to get rid of that plus 1 and figure out what to do and muck the question up. But we'll look at cases like that in coming videos. Let's have a look at now. It's 2x equals 1. A lot of you will see the answer. You don't need to see any further. Of course, you can divide both sides by 2, and you've got x to the half. And you can have a look back at the question and go, well, it doesn't make sense to me. So what we're actually saying is 25 to the power of half equals a 5. So we know that a half means the square root of 25, which is a 5. And now a lot of people are saying at the beginning won't see this. It's pretty obvious once you know what you're doing. So the square root of 25 is 5. There we have it. Now, guys, if you're enjoying it, please spread the word. Let people know. I'm also putting videos on other platforms, so you can check out my name elsewhere and catch up with what I've done.